Hey everyone, welcome to the Get Your Life Together Girl Mini Mindset Reset. I'm your host, Danielle. As a cognitive behavioral therapist, a life coach to women, and author, one thing has become abundantly clear. So much of what gets in our way in our daily lives is not only how we think, but what we think, our mindset. Because of that, every other week, I'm taking your requests and questions and handing over quick, easy to use, practical strategies and life tools to help you shift your thinking, create calm, help you understand and express your emotions, harness your inner power, and learn how to navigate your personal story in 15 minutes or less. After all, how else can you get your life together? So let's shift your perspective with the tools and conversations that help you in the throes of change. The Get Your Life Together Girl podcast mini mindset reset starts right now. Nearly everyone has heard the word mindfulness or has come across this term in the last year or so, it seems. But not everyone knows what mindfulness actually means. In fact, if you type the word mindfulness into Google, you're going to be overloaded by the number of articles and books and videos and just sheer content that appears. Xander from Rhodes, Greece, wrote in and said, Danielle, I've listened to every episode of the podcast, and you often mention being mindful or you use the word mindfulness. I have heard a lot about mindfulness, but I'm still not certain I know what it means or even how to be mindful. Can you put mindfulness into simple terms? You're really good at breaking things down like that. So can you do so that we can all understand? And is there an easy way to practice mindfulness that helps us in our healing and growth journey? Oh, I love this question because you're right. Mindfulness can be sort of elusive. And of course, thank you for your kind words and listening as well, Xander. But I'm with you. Completely agree. The practice and ideas behind mindfulness can feel a bit confusing and even overwhelming with so much buzz around it. And let's be honest, sometimes noise. I mean, again, 739 million different results when you just Google one word. So I'm happy to break mindfulness down into a much more straightforward concept and then hand over a few quick practices that you can use anywhere and at any time. So let's break it all down. Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be present. That's really it, to be radically present. It's a practice of conscious awareness when it comes to our thoughts, emotions, and of course our actions, and giving ourselves the ability to acknowledge and accept what's happening around us, through us, and in the witnessing of that, not overly reacting or being overwhelmed by what we're experiencing. That is mindfulness. The Oxford English Dictionary defines mindfulness as a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Again, I think that really comes back to thoughts come in, we have an emotional rise, and then we have action, right? We talk about that so often. And that is really the element of getting into mindfulness. Being mindful, practicing mindfulness at its most basic level. Again, it's nothing more than being aware and present. But there are 7 pillars and principles, really, or even attitudes, whatever you wish to call them, in mindfulness that I want to touch on briefly so that you have a better understanding of mindfulness without it, having so much noise or confusion. So the first one is non-judgment. And this is really being an impartial witness to your experience. Being non-judgmental allows us to have a neutral viewpoint to anything and everything that comes in without this need to quickly and rapidly respond. That's a big thing. So many of us don't even think anymore. We just move into autopilot. We move into reaction or inaction, either way. And being non-judgmental means that we witness it, we see it, and we acknowledge that it is there. The second pillar is patience. Now, patience in this realm really means the ability to stay calm and to accept delays or sidesteps and allow things to unfold in their own timing. We live in a world of instant gratification, right? And so really when we work on our patience and allow things to unfold, that is an act of mindfulness. So the third is to have a beginning mindset, to really have that beginner's mindset about everything. This is really hard for a lot of people. When we learn something, we often want to master it and we want to be seen as an expert, right? Experts are paid more. They have more social status. They're seen as the influencers. But being a beginner to anything allows you to know that there are different perspectives and that we don't have to only learn a small amount of things. We can be open to new things because the truth is different viewpoints is really how we do learn, right? And this allows us to be in change, to be present, and to be within growth. Number 4 is trust. Mindful trust is the firm belief in the truth, the ability, and the strength of someone or something. When we are mindful, we have a primary or even a deeply developed trust factor within us and our feelings. We know who we are. We know what we want. We know what we need to feel or how we want to feel. And we move through our life with this personal empowerment and authenticity that says, I am willing to be who I am regardless of the good opinion of others. This is a very big mindful action. Number 5 is non-striving. Now, when I say this, a lot of people will say, oh, so you want to just sit and wait for something to, fall in your lap. And that is not non-striving, okay? Non-striving is an attitude of being rather than doing. So willing to embrace with an openness of everything that is, instead of trying to create something that you are not or something that you don't want or trust, right? So having the awareness that I can do what I need and want without having to do all of these other things. That's non-striving. Number 6 is acceptance, which is the ability to acknowledge and receive the situation in present moment form, right? So without this need to change something to meet our comfort level, be within our certain little box that we've put ourselves in, but just being willing to see things as they are. Number 7, letting go. Number 7 is really the hardest. And this means that we have to stop thinking about or being angry about or being upset about something that happened in our past. It's releasing our distracting inner thoughts, the emotions, and the situations so that we can be present and that we can live in the moment. These 7 principles, when they're practiced daily, really do help us de-stress. They enhance our mental health. They create, better sleep and energy. They help us not be depressed and have addictions. They allow us to lean into the positives of our lives, no matter what's happening around us or within us. And that's really just the top of the list, right? There's so many other positive benefits. But I want to talk for a moment about some of these exercises and practices that we can do at any time. So let's go to the one that takes the absolute least effort, right? And that is the mindful hand awareness exercise. Now, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our mind into the present moment because remember, that is mindfulness. And here what we're going to do is just place our hands together, interlace your fingers, and then tightly grip them. Squeeze your hands together. And I want you to bring your attention and your awareness to your hands for 5 to 10 seconds, right? This is all the time you need. And as you continue to squeeze, I want you to think about the sensation that's happening in your body. Let go of anything that's happening around you. What's happening with your hands? And keep your attention there, focused on this feeling for as long as you can, and then slowly release your grasp. Again, what we're trying to do is to get the brain to focus. When we begin to practice mindfulness for the first time, this is an excellent exercise to start with because, again, we're trying to clue the mind into the present moment, not the past, not tomorrow, not all the conversations that you wish you would have had, but what's happening right here, right now. You can do that practice as many times as you want, and no one's going to know that you're doing it. It's really excellent. The next one is the full sensory awareness practice. This too is extremely simple, but it does take a little bit more concentration and thought process. So when I'm teaching meditation to someone who's never practiced before, this is an exercise that I often start with because, again, it helps us focus and calm the brain. So for this exercise, wherever you are, I want you to stop and look around. Of course, only when it's safe to do so. But become aware of your surroundings and allow your senses to take over. A reminder of your basic senses for those of you who are trying to remember that, kindergarten and first grade lesson. So your senses are: what can you see, hear, taste, touch, feel, and smell? And as you take in your surroundings, I want you to ask yourself present moment awareness questions. It doesn't have to be these. It can be whatever you want as long as they're set in the present moment. But when I practice this or when I'm teaching it, the questions would be: how do I feel? What do I hear? What do I see? What do I smell? What do I taste? Right? So these are the certain questions that really guide the mind back into the moment. And as you ask and answer, you take mental note and keep observing without judgment what's going on around you. This is a very great present moment awareness exercise. In Xander's note, she mentioned that I often talk about our breath being the reset for our nervous system. And of course, that is absolutely true. And so another mindful practice that we can really use to our benefit is to harness the power of our breath. And I like to use the word calm as an acronym. So CALM. And we're going to use this as a breathing exercise to get our mind focused. So the C will stand for chest. Notice your breath entering your chest and feel the rise and fall of it as your breath fills your body. So C for chest. A is for arms. As you breathe in, bring your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, release your shoulders, your arms back into neutral position. L is for legs. And as you continue to breathe in and out, squeeze the thighs and the leg muscles, hold that tension, and then release it with your next exhale. In and out. Squeeze on the inhale, exhale, you let go. And the M is for mouth. Gently open your jaw, bringing your breath in really wide through your mouth. And then you can move your jaw side to side if you want in between inhales and exhales. And this really allows us to focus on what's happening right now. Those are 3 very, very simple practices. And as you progress in your mindfulness practice, you can really move into something much more complicated, whether that's the body scan or working on holding space or drawing your attention to your thoughts or emotions. But this is a really great place to start. So, there's a bunch of different ways to practice mindfulness, but the whole scope of it is be aware, be present, don't overthink, and just be here right now. I hope this gives you some tools and some insights on how to make the shift in your life and really use mindfulness to your benefit. Thank you so much to Xander for this question, and I challenge each of you to reset your mindset. Thank you so much for listening to the Get Your Life Together Girl mini mindset reset. If you have a subject or strategy request, email us at getyourlifetogethergirlnow@gmail.com. Or you can visit our website at getyourlifetogethergirl.com. If you're looking for daily inspiration or tips and tools, join the growing community at Get Your Life Together Girl on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you for being a valuable member of this community. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others.